Hello guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So, today's message is from Azazel. Azazel, however you want to pronounce his name. Today's message is from him. So what message does he have for the collective today? Okay, teaches holy secrets, instructs how to make weapons, and the art of seduction. There's this funny post that I saw on Pinterest. I don't know how long ago it was. It was like, when was it? Like November? October? Around that time. Well, anyways, oh, my face is itching, but I didn't set my face, so I can't scratch it. I saw a funny post that was kind of talking about like makeup. It was like a post from like a Christian, and they were like, "See, makeup is the art of the devil. If you guys don't know, Azazel actually is influencing you to do this demonic makeup." And like the makeup that it was showing was like just like regular like eyeshadow looks that an Instagram artist would do or something shit like that. It was stupid. It was so funny. I really wish I saved it somewhere, you know what I mean? Because it was so funny. I was like, what are you talking about? But I got my makeup done in honor of that. I really actually did my makeup because I just wanted to look presentable. So yeah, anyways, I just thought that was funny, and I thought I would mention that because that's very interesting to me. And I guess if we're talking about the art of seduction, then there you go. But I thought that was kind of funny. And I don't really know who made that post, but I hope they're okay. And I hope, you know, the religious psychosis is going well. So, moving forward, what message does he have for you? I kind of overlooked this message because I think I tried to do this reading several times, and I was just like, what is he trying to say? And I feel like this is more of like a call to action type message, if you will. But a call to action as like, I'm asking you to work with me. Okay, and here's why. Here are the reasons why I want you to work with me. That's what type of message I feel this is. All right. So I guess we should just go over his reasons why. We should go over his reasons why he would be a great partner in your spiritual life, right? We have the Eight of Cups, okay? And the Eight of Cups is representative of a disappointing situation or a memory, something that happened that wasn't ideal. And this is accompanied by the Four of Cups, which is like apathy, I guess feeling like uninspired, art block, things of that nature. So it seems that some of you guys, pretty much all of you guys, have dealt with some type of situation, whether that be recently or even in the past. Like, it doesn't matter how far back, but it already happened. You dealt with some type of situation that left you feeling very disappointed and uninspired and just drained. And with that, you haven't really been able to kind of see the depth of your power or the depth of what is within. Does that make sense? Like, this situation disappointed you. Or perhaps it's not even like a situation. It's kind of like, maybe it could just be throughout your life. Like, the spirituality that you have followed hasn't been ideal. It hasn't really fit the standards that meet you. It hasn't really ever resonated with you. But I feel like you don't realize that it's not necessarily about conforming to spirituality that everyone else conforms to. It's about conforming to your own spirituality. Spirituality can be whatever you want it to be. And I feel like a lot of people don't even realize that. People think that you have to have a label, or you have to be this or that and the third. And, you know, I call myself a Satanist because that's what I am, but I'm a Satanist in my own way. I have my own rules to how I want to practice, and my spirituality is mine. It is flexible to me. It is whatever resonates with me, is whatever it needs to be. And I find my spirituality in all the things I need to find it in. I find it within myself. It can only be understood through me. Does that make sense? My spirituality is mine. And your spirituality can be yours. It doesn't have to be a label. It doesn't have to be a religion. It doesn't have to be what somebody else wants it to be. You know what I mean? And perhaps that's putting yourself in a box through traditional spirituality has put you in just situations that haven't been good, and maybe has turned you off to even practicing or understanding the deeper truth within yourself. But the sun illuminates. The sun illuminates what is hidden. And what is hidden is some of the most great, powerful magic that's within. And you'll only be able to understand and discover that magic when you open up to it, right? Okay, Six of Pentacles, okay, resources, tools, wealth, prosperity being given to you. Perhaps all the resources and tools and knowledge you need is already being given to you. And even then, I feel like Azazel could give you a lot of resources and knowledge and inspiration to push you forward. Because at the end of the day, you are at a point where the spirituality of the past has outgrown you. And it's time to come forward into the spirituality that is now calling you, yours. Right? Not anyone else's. Right? Four of Cups. Feeling real uninspired, feeling real beat down by it. Spirituality is not meant to beat down people. If someone's spirituality is all about beating each other up, then it's not, that's not right. That ain't right. It ain't right. Like, if your spirituality, like, literally the basis of it is, like, beating others up, like, just getting crazy with people, like, what's the point? Because for me, you know, my Satanism, it's about me. It's all about me, okay? And yeah, it's self-centered. But it doesn't involve other people. It doesn't involve beating down other people. Like, I don't have my belief doesn't require me to be rude to a certain group of people or like hate on other people. Like, it really requires me to love myself, understand myself, respect myself, and put myself first. That's what it requires. You know what I mean? It doesn't require me to sit up here and get crazy with other mofos who are different than me. You know what I mean? I feel like the reason why a lot of people choose to be secular is because the rules that come with religion, just the restrictiveness. And it can lead to a lot of disappointing situations, right? But like I said, spirituality doesn't have to be that way. It does not. You know what I mean? If you choose to become a Satanist, that's what you want to make it. Okay? If you choose to become whatever the hell you want to be, then cool. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's get into like the second part, the reading. All right, we have Two of Cups working together. Page of Swords. Why did it become so? Page of Swords. The Emperor. Emperor? That's how people be in the South. The Emperor. The Emperor. Six of Wands. Okay. So, tapping deeper into the reading. If you worked with Azazel, he could help you see some things that you may not see. Right? If you're clicking on this reading, then you already had interest in him. So, what's keeping you from working with him? Because the thing for me is like, there's some deities that I wanted to work with, but I always kind of felt like if I reached out to them, they would be annoyed by me. Like, does it make sense? Maybe it's because, like, I kind of feel like if I talk to people sometimes, I'm bothering them. And so, therefore, like, I wouldn't reach out to some of the deities I want to. Because I was scared. I was scared that they would be annoyed. Not even scared about, like, talking to them, generally speaking. I'm scared about, like, annoying them. Does that make sense? Like, but yeah, I just felt like if I reached out to them, like, it just wouldn't go the way, like, that's kind of how I felt about, like, Lucifer. I just thought, like, it just would not go the way it needed to go. But here's the thing. That's just, like, an imagination. That is literally something that's inside your head. And I say, like, if you feel called to talk to, like, a certain deity or spirit, then it's meant to be. Like, you wouldn't feel called to talk to that deity if, like, it was not meant to be. Like, why would your heart be calling you to that if it wasn't supposed to be? Right? Like, let's trust our intuition here. It tells us what we need to know. Okay, and yours tells you exactly what you need to do. So, not trying to say that this is Azazel propaganda, but it kind of is. Two of Cups, though. It could be that if you guys did work together, there could be a great partnership. You know what I mean? There could be a very great partnership between both of you guys, because really the basis of, what do you want to call it? A purpose? I guess a specialty to him is revealing knowledge that is hidden. And perhaps there's a lot of knowledge that is around you that is hidden, that could be revealed through your work with him. Now, this is not really about Azazel in particular, but one of the first deities I ever worked with was Ptah, okay, Egyptian deity. I worked with Ptah, okay, and I originally called upon him because I needed his help in regards to, like, my art. Because I wanted to make money off of my art, and, you know, he blesses blacksmiths, and he supports, he's a patron of the arts, okay, and I needed help because I wanted to make a career of my art, and I was going through Instagram. Instagram at the time was kind of like a shitty option to promote your art on, like, you know what I mean? So I need some spiritual help, okay, because I need to hone it in. I was trying to, you know, make money off of my gift. So I called on him, and we began working together, and I would jump in and out of ideas, like, quite frequently. But eventually, I guess, like, a traumatic event happened to me, and I decided to talk to him about my personal life and shit like that. And I didn't realize, like, how much, like, impact he would really have on my life, because I just thought it was supposed to be, like, a little, it was just a little partnership to me. I didn't really look at it like it was, like, supposed to be the most life-changing, life-altering experience. But, like, as years progressed, my partnership with him really transformed. It really transcended what the original purpose was. And perhaps when I saw him, when I was, like, researching deities, Egyptian deities, perhaps when I saw him and I felt like it was right to go to him, beyond even just, like, the blacksmith and art shit, when I felt like he was the perfect guy, I feel like my soul had told me that he was right because of the things that would happen that I was not anticipating. Does that make sense? Like, does this feel like Azazel propaganda? Because it kind of is. But it's also kind of generally speaking on, like, work with deities and things like that. People don't really understand the full depth of what it can bring. Okay? And I didn't know. Like, I just did not know that my partnership with Ptah would end up like that. And there's so many things that I discovered about him that I didn't even realize when I began working with him. So I know that has nothing to do with Azazel, but it does have to do with, like, deity partnerships and things like that, right? So, you know what I mean? There's so much I discovered. Like, he even kind of influenced, not really, but kind of, but how do I say it? He helped me feel less afraid to accept the fact that I resonated with Satanism, right? He helped me realize that was probably the path that I need to go down. Okay? So if you do feel called to work with him, then it would be a great idea to do so. Because there's so many things that you don't realize will be brought to you. There's so much illumination that has yet to happen, that will happen. You know what I mean? And perhaps he's already in your circle as is. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of, like, getting off rails with that, but I felt like it was I was meant to talk about it, so why not? Okay. Page of Swords talks about expanding your thoughts, expanding the expansion of ideas, the expansion of inspiration. Where was I going with this? I felt like there was something else. Expansion of knowledge. Did I already say that? It's growth. Working with him can bring an expansion of inspiration, ideas, knowledge, and growth. And I feel like you should take action to do that with the Emperor. Okay, 2 of Cups. 6 of Wands. But I guess one of the perks listed is, I guess, being recognized. Being understood. That's what the 6 of Wands can mean in this sense. Being recognized, being understood by someone. You will be recognized and understood. If that is something that you choose to go down. Now, let's get into like some of the oracle cards, okay? We got Red Queen. You're ready. You are ready for this moment. This is a moment that you are ready for. Okay? Spiritual presence. Spiritual team. Emphasis on the ones that watch over you, the ones that care for you. And Azazel's that guy, okay? He's that guy. He cares, all right? He cares for you. And then Gypsy Queen. It is an assessment of your powers and your spirituality. You need to understand the full scope and the full power of the magic that you have within yourself. It's all within your heart. And these dragons in the background of this card is that passion, that fire energy. I feel like there's fire energy going on here. You're a very passionate, powerful person. But you've let other people's thoughts and opinions and perspectives of spirituality warp the power that you have. Perhaps it feels kind of scary to go your own way and go down the path that's calling to you because a lot of people feel that it isn't right. But it is right. And it's okay to not fully resonate with one teaching or another and switch. Or I guess, yeah, switch, is that the word for it? I guess reject beliefs after a certain while. The power is just within you. It is within you. You're a magician. You're very powerful. And you have so many gifts that need to be seen. But how will you see them if you're too busy, running away for some? But you're just at that moment where you're ready. The Red Queen represents being ready. You're ready to see the full depth of your power. And if you choose to have Azazel in your space, then he can help. He's like, pick me, choose me, love me. Let me complain. All right. Is there any other messages that he has? Or do I pull out the Solitary Witch Oracle? Okay. What other messages does Azazel have for the collective? What other messages does Azazel have for the collective? Okay. All right. Let's get into the final messages. Sorry to yell in your ear. Well. So I suggest you move to the south so you can be closer to Satan. Nah, I'm just joking. Do not move to the south. You know, growing up in the South, and the reason why I'm talking about the South, I just dropped a card. The reason why I'm talking about the South is because that's where I grew up. I grew up in the South, okay? I'm a Southern gal, okay? I was a grit, okay? Girl raised, it's grits technically. Girl raised in the South, okay? Now, at this point, do I identify with being a girl? I don't fucking care. Anyways, but I was a grit, okay? I was a girl raised in the South, okay? And in the South, everybody's Christian, especially when I was growing up. Okay, now, everybody lives in the South now, okay? Like, people from all across, you know, the United States, and people from, like, other countries even live in the South, okay? Like, there's so many people that, like, are from different countries here that I'll see. And it's really interesting, but yeah, I was a girl raised in the South, okay? I was a grit. Grits, okay? I was a grit. And with that, it came a lot of religious trauma, okay? Because people are kind of crazy here, okay? Especially when I was growing up. Like, and like I said with that, like, there was people, that now there's a lot of people from different cultures and stuff like that living here. When I was a kid, it was just white people, okay? In the state I was in, it was just white people, all right, at my school. Like, you get one black kid in your class, that's it. Like, it was me and then some other, I accidentally flipped you off. Me and some, like, other kid, who were black, okay? In the classroom. But with that, it came a lot of religious persecution. Okay? Just a lot of religious trauma. And I feel like with you guys, some religious trauma going on here. Religious trauma, okay? Girl raised in the South type vibes. No, it doesn't even have to be girl raised in the South, okay? Religious trauma is what it is, okay? Because Christianity is worldwide. I'm not saying it's just Christianity, okay? It's not even just Christianity. There's other religions, but this card, the premises of this card is not relinquishing your freedom and understanding the magic that's also within your past lives, okay? When you relinquish your freedom to religions that don't resonate with you, what does that create for you? That makes you feel hostage. It makes you feel crazy. It makes you feel apathetic about living. But you have a choice to not do that, okay? Because there's so much magic that's within you, okay? There's magic from past lives that are calling to you, but you have to accept that magic, okay? Especially with spells from the hearth, okay? There's magic within your heart. There's magic that's within, that's calling to you. So much like the gift of witchcraft, okay? There's literal recipes. That's what I'm thinking about. Recipes, spells, recipes, guides, spirit guides who have so many spells, knowledge, and gifts to give. But you have to open up to that, right? Because you guys kind of feel like you're alone. You feel like you're just all alone. And you feel very damaged by some of the things that have happened to you. Okay, the trauma is real. Okay, it's giving Ethel Cain vibes. The trauma is real. All right, and unfortunately, it's just played a massive role in your life, and it's made you feel kind of confused about who you are. But the thing is, you know who you are. It's just like those outside thoughts are clouding who you are. You know what I mean? It's clouding the truth. So you kind of feel wishy-washy, but you know who you are. Okay, if you're clicking on this reading, you know who you are, all right? Like, you already know, all right? You work with the shadow, you work with those darker energies, but, you know, it's too scary to realize that. It's a little bit too scary to realize that, right? But you can't be afraid, okay? Because he has so much knowledge to give. And if not him, then there's so much knowledge that's within you, okay? So much knowledge around you in nature reflecting you, and you have to open up to it, okay? You have to open up to it. self-initiation. You're being initiated into the truth, which is you. And everything that comes from within is the truth, all right? You don't have to be like held hostage by the religious trauma, okay? Because perhaps the Eight of Cups event is all the things that have happened, you know, all the things that have happened to you. Those traumatic events. There's like so much like, you have gifts. Gifts, okay? You are a gift. You are a gift in this lifetime. It's time to open up to the magic, right? Open up to the magic within. Okay? I feel like that's it for Azazel, okay? He got his 30 minutes of fame. That's it for Azazel. If you enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe, okay? And, you know, work with Azazel, because he can bring you a lot of insight that you may not even be aware of. And that'd be very good for you, right? All right, illumination. There's a lot of illuminating going on here, okay? Sun people. We got a lot of sun people here, especially if you got that curly hair, okay? You know what I'm talking about. You got a direct connection with the sun, all right? Does that make sense? Okay, he's a spirit guide. Okay, let him in. If you feel called to work with him, then let him the fuck in, all right? And I will see you very soon. Take care. Goodbye. If you feel like donating a deck, buying me a deck, go ahead. Throw a link in the description. If not that, just subscribe, okay? Leave a comment. Okay, enough.